Happy Monday. How are you? I am just checking in to see what is good in your world. Happy official start of summer. I know that many of you have your kids out of school officially. I know I do. Getting ready for the summer vacay. And I want to know what you're up to. What are you gonna do with your summer vacation? I am curious. I am just gonna pop in here and see what's what. Where y'all listening in from? Oh, I'm probably gonna find myself in trouble with no Wi-Fi in here. Hold it up. Where are you right now and where are you going? Do you have any plans to travel this summer? Are you staying local? Are you... Yeah, I want to know. I have just finished an interview with the illustrious Helena Philipson, one of my dear friends and colleagues in Copenhagen. That was kind of fun. She is a talkative one, so you can imagine that, oh, that's really high for talk radio. We are good to go, but that is way too high. On the selfie stick. Yay. Hey Vaughn, what's up? I have not posted a picture, but there's a package on the way to you. And actually I have it on this phone, but I've been busy. We are getting ready for summer vacay up in here. Know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, are you going anywhere, Vaughn? You were just driving somewhere. Where were you? You were going to the ATL recently. Are you going anywhere with the fam? Everybody packing up? This is a big, weekend for us Americans. What's up, Melvin? It is July 3rd in America, so that means we've got the good old, hey Janet, we've got Independence Day, when we Americans celebrate our independence from the British. And that generally means like barbecues and, fun like cookouts with the family, pool parties, and at night, the fireworks, which was, to me, always the best part. And it was fun. I got to see, hey Heidi, how are you? I got to see my best friend from childhood, Allison, yesterday. We got to catch up on Skype, and she was saying that, yeah, they're gonna be like firing off fireworks in the cul-de-sac. And it just like instantly took me back 30 years to when we literally, at least in Denver, I don't know how many other states you can, like you could literally go and buy fireworks and pop them off right there in the cul-de-sac, right there in the street. It's like, memories. So here I am. I'm in the south of France. As many of you know, the Bastille Day is July 14th. So tonight, though, or tomorrow, in Monte Carlo, our dear friends at Stars and Bars in Monaco will be hosting some fun stuff for us Americans and the other expats that like to come. What's up, Shelly? Good to see you. So Vaughn, you've got Cali and St. Louis on your list. Okay. Can't see the video, says Lillian. Can y'all see me? Ooh. All right, Heidi, drive safely. Don't do anything mischievous. I want to know if, what's up, Karan? Karanism. I want to know what your plans are for summer. How many of you are going away? Are you going to see family? Are you doing anything for yourself? This is, I think I told you guys last week, I don't like excuses. I don't like when my clients give me excuses. Definitely don't like it when my family member throws out excuses. But I also realize that I can't have any excuses. I have to live my life to the fullest in honor of where I came from. I was just, what was I doing? I was writing something for Thrive Global. No, I wasn't. I'm writing so much content, I can't keep it straight. I think this was something that I'm doing for America Out Loud. Did any of you catch my show this weekend? The debut, it was kind of like the soft launch of my new show, Liberate Your Authentic Self, where I interviewed James R. Nowlin. Anyway, I was writing for Thrive Global or America Out Loud, or my radio show, I can't remember which. I am a content producing machine at the moment. But I was recounting one of the stories about my mom, Dr. P, as we call her. I was just talking to my sister and my dad, who were in Las Vegas helping mom get moved to a new place. And it just brought back a flood of memories. And as a kid, there were times when my mom left us with dad or whatever, and she would go travel the world. And I think what I was saying in this particular spot on the radio was my mom was someone who just did not believe in excuses. Like, she wasn't having it. And Karan, I know that, well, you know how Dr. P was. She had no time for any kind of excuses about anything, about why you couldn't exercise, about why you ate too much, about why this, why that. And one of the things that, because she lost her mother when she was just, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Karan throwing hearts, because yeah, she knows she got a talking to or several from Dr. P. But what was I just saying? Something about travel. Anyway, my mother lost her mother when she was 11. So my mom was 11 when my grandmother died from complications of type 2 diabetes. And growing up in British Guyana at the time, in the 40s and 50s, there was still this very, particular way that girls were treated. And the idea of a girl traveling alone and my mom traveling to London by herself to attend nursing school, it was like, what? You're going to have to see naked people. And nobody wanted her to do it. But my mom was fierce and feisty. And because she did see her own mother die, I think this idea about health and wanting to learn and wanting to help hit her at an early age. But that carried over. So not only did she leave Guyana, move to London, studied nursing, she ended up marrying an American who was in the service and then moved to America. This is before she met my dad and me and my brother. And she was just a fierce, feisty little mama. There was nothing to hold her back. She was just adventurous. And because she lost her mom at such an early age, and because her mom was an entrepreneur, her mother actually inherited a soap factory. So there weren't a lot of women running companies. So her mom was busy running a company, had kids, but she had such a big estate that she was kind of gone a lot. But she realized that her mom didn't get to live a full life, and so she was going to live a full life. And that impressed upon me for the most part until, well, it definitely inspired me to move to France. I mean, people always ask, did you move to France for a man? No, it wasn't love. There was no man involved. In fact, I didn't know a single person here in the south of France when I moved. Packed myself up, had 5 suitcases, and a baby stroller. No, wait, she wasn't in a stroller at the time. Yeah, Sienna was 4, she was walking. Me and the baby. And we moved here, didn't know a soul, and I just had to follow my heart and my soul. But I'm grateful to my mom for that, because she taught me at an early age, follow your heart. Live life, live it for real. Don't always plan or scrimp and save and not do, live. So that's what I am doing this year. I have been traveling a lot over the last few years, but it's mainly been on business. Now, it's been very pleasurable business, so traveling to Iceland several times, and Denmark, and the UK, and Spain, and Belgium, and of course, the United States. But I haven't done anything adventurous for me. Nothing even on my own personal development journey. With the exception of last October, I went to the Peace Village in the Catskills of New York with Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio and a bunch of other luminaries who were so amazing. It was such a deep and fulfilling experience for me. And my kid went with me. Sienna was like there, like ready, you know, doing the meditations, being at the sessions. And that was good. That was for me. That was very nourishing. Having Sienna worked out fine. I have to visit Norge, and New Zealand is amazing. And I haven't been. Like, that's on my list. New Zealand and Australia. Like, even the dog says I should go, right? I definitely want to go and explore. So on Saturday of this week, I'm heading to Peru. Get to see Machu Picchu, and this is because of some of these soul-infused, beautiful, heart-centered people that I met when I did the America Meditating Retreat. So Missy Crutchfield, Melissa Turner, and Dr. Amelia Kemp, and some other beautiful people, some artists such as Premek and Kirsten. It's going to be amazing. And this is the first time in 10 years that I've been on like my own kind of spiritual vacay journey for me, not for work, although I'm sure I'm going to be shooting some videos for you and telling you all my amazing spiritual downloads and insights. But it's like just for me. And having just done this interview with Helena, it just got me thinking. So Costa Rica, yes, beautiful, Vaughn. So you have Auckland, New Zealand on your list, Vaughn. And so Karan, you have the kids and the grands. So you're just gonna have like the fam all around me, all around you. You're saying, with that being said, I may have to disappear for a few days. Yes. And so Gabriella, you're gonna declutter your life this summer. I like it. So I'm just really, really curious to know how many of you are, you know, planning stuff that's about your growth and development. So this show that I just did with Helena was about more or less the all-inclusive lifestyle. She just got back from an all-inclusive vacay. And, you know, that kind of resort lifestyle can lead to a little bit of gorging, binging, consuming. And I just noticed that sometimes we wait until it's summer to refuel for ourselves. And I don't know, with kids and travel, sometimes the travel with the kids or around the kids doesn't feel very resourcing and re-nourishing, if I might say. So that's why I'm so excited about this trip. So Vaughn, you have a 23-year anniversary coming up. And you've never taken Sarah on an anniversary trip? You travel a lot, but this year you'll do something special. Well, yeah, get on that. That sounds like it's long overdue. So yeah, get on that. That'll be fun. So I felt like, as I was talking to Helena about just the mindset that we get into when we have life kind of going, and generally we wait until the body or the brain is near a breaking point that we finally stop and say, I've got to take care of me, I've got to refuel. But one of the things that came to me in my meditation about you was I realized that some of these little rants, my Wednesday rants and my Monday chatting with you is, you know, not structured. This is not part of some program or sales pitch. It's just us connecting. But many of the comments that I've been going back through and the emails that I've got and some of the conversations that I've had indicate that we can take in a lot of great information, especially on social media, little hits of positivity, little cute quote cards and memes that give us maybe a little hit of that dopamine. But what I noticed was lacking is a sense of, how do I take some of this information and like put it into practice on a regular, ongoing basis so that my life actually is better. Like, it's nice to get entertained, and maybe that's all y'all want. Maybe you just want entertainment on social media. You don't want nothing deep and profound. But as I'm looking toward what I'm doing in the world with my time, I realize it needs to be moving forward my life purpose, and that is to empower you to live a kick-ass life, optimizing your body and your brain and your business and your love life so that you can live with a sense of passion and purpose and get that sense of fulfillment that I think we all really look for. Rather than chasing happiness, for me, it's about flow and fulfillment, as you've probably heard me say a number of times. Welcome, Samantha. Nice to see you. So Lillian says, I just woke up an idea about traveling for yourself. Maybe not now, but in the future. Oh, you're on DDS with Ninka, and it's the best I've done for myself. Yay! So, yes, well, being around Ninka is always going to be sort of nourishing. Ninka Bernadette, for those of you who have not seen her, is this beautiful woman from Denmark who has recently, I don't know how recently, but moved to the UK and has created an amazing program with her partner, Winford. And Winford Dorr has been doing all of this amazing app technology work to do exactly what I just said, optimize your brain. So they have teamed up and are doing beautiful things together from both detox and brain rehab. So yes, it is, I bet that's good for you, Lillian, that you're doing for yourself. That is why I shared last week that I invested in the Pandora star. I realized I am giving a lot of energy and time between writing, hosting 2 radio shows, working with clients all over the world in multiple time zones, teaching and being on stage. I'm like giving out a lot of energy. And while I exercise, I eat healthy, I take care of myself, I noticed that I needed to like optimize my brain, especially on the creative thing. Because what I've been feeling lately is like this urge to create. I'm a total creator. Hey, Allison, I just mentioned you a minute ago. And I know you can probably relate to this, Allison. I was just saying that I'm a creator. I can be in a mode where I'm teaching and hanging out and facilitating workshops, but I get into a space sometimes where I just have this urge to create something. Now that could be videos that I produce, it could be epic long blog posts that I write, it could be a new book or an ebook. Hey Sinitra, welcome. But I get these urges, I get these creative impulses where I just want to create something, you know, it doesn't have to be super big like my last book, but something at least substantial where I'm assimilating kind of the information I've been gathering, but then putting it into some produced package. And I've been feeling that a lot because teaching a lot and hosting events a lot takes a lot of energy out, and being in production, whether that's, you know, theater, singing, or designing, or writing, it just feels like a good flow. It's a good way for me to move energy out into the world. So, yeah. So I was asking what everyone's doing for the summer. I'm curious to know. So guess what else I'm doing for my brain? I wonder if you've ever heard of SigMatic. I just recently picked up these 2 babies right here. Right here. So, SigMatic. I don't know, actually this is Facebook. Does that mean this is like reversed? Probably can't read that, right? Sorry. So let me tell you what it is. So I was listening to Tim Ferriss, some thing he was talking about, and people are always asking Tim Ferriss, since he is one of the guys out there that's always talking about optimizing your body and your brain, particularly the nootropics. So nootropics, or smart drugs, as people sometimes call them. I started learning about them back in 2004, when I got certified in age management medicine. Some people call it anti-aging medicine. But one of my mentors, Dr. Alan Mintz, was like incredible, and just his brain was just, I don't know, I was always in awe. And so we learn about how to optimize brain function. So in age management, not only do we want to prolong your lifespan, but we really want to optimize and prolong your health span, so that at the end of your life, you're still vibrant and healthy and everything's working. So it's not only about preventing disease, it's also about optimizing your body and your brain. And we do that through hormones, we do that through nutrition, supplements, good lifestyle, you know, lots of water and rest and movement, exercise, yoga, all of that. It's very holistic. So one of the people that you'll hear me talking about is Dr. Jill Stalker, who is the juicy hormone doctor out in Hollywood. And she's also practicing age management medicine, but in a very holistic way. So we're going to talk to her about how to have a juicy, out loud life as you're aging, and just really protecting your body and your brain. Because I think that's number one, because you don't want to arrive at the end of your life and be sick in bed, right? And or having other people taking care of you, right? Hello, Helen. It was lovely to see a little heart flash. And we also want to like enjoy life. Like that's one of the things I'm so grateful that my mother taught me. And one of the things I share often is that despite the fact that now her Alzheimer's and she's almost blind, so she's dependent, you know, she can't get around on her own. She's dependent on my sister. And no, she doesn't travel the world like she did when she was rocking them Daisy Dukes and going everywhere. So I really want to make sure that I shift. Like I really went inward when Sienna came into my life, and it really made me think about what kind of life do I want to model for her and bring her up in a certain developmental sphere and realm so that she could be the best possible. But also, most importantly, I need to be my best, because just not even as a doctor, but just knowing how we model our parents. So most of us will either mimic or reject what we see in our parents. And I wanted to be the best model possible. So fortunately, with all the positive psychology I'd learned in age management medicine, meditation, and Chinese medicine, and acupuncture, and all that great stuff, I've got a lot. So here's my newest thing. So Helen, so glad to see you. I know you know a lot of stuff too that you are also going to be sharing with this audience. Yay! Can't wait. But the one I want to talk to you about that I just mentioned is this. Shaga, I don't know. It is, you know, this ancient superfood. Basically, mushrooms, guys. And when I was listening to this thing with Tim Ferriss, he was saying that if you really want to have, you know, your brain functioning when you've got to do something creative or you're writing or whatever, he was talking about this mushroom mix. So this one by these Finnish guys, they call themselves the fun guys. Get it? Fun guy. Mushroom is a fungus. Fun guys. Anyway, the fun guys from Finland, 4 SigMatic chaga mushroom elixir mix. It's kind of like a tea, and this one has Siberian ginseng. It's very earthy. It tastes kind of shroomy, but I don't even think of it as tea, really. It's just sort of like an earth brew is what I'm thinking of it. But it's rich in antioxidants, and I definitely feel like I'm getting through these. The last week is how long I've been having this stuff. So that and the Pandora, I think, is keeping me rocking and rolling. And then this is the other thing, is this mushroom coffee mix. It's called Think, with lion's mane and chaga, whatever. Anyway, it's bunch of stuffs, rhodiola extract, and yeah. So it's vegan, it's certified paleo. 100% Arabica coffee, dual extracted mushrooms, and besides the mushroom superfood, the caffeine isn't a really high content, so it doesn't cause any upset stomach and burning and no crashing, because I've been wanting to get off of. Yes, I will write it down, Lillian. I will share it. So I just decided to try it. And for me, I'm liking it. No crash, no weird headaches, no weird stomach aches, no jitters, and I have been able to keep my brain like going even probably when I should unplug, but sometimes because I work with my dear friends in America, from here to LA is a 9-hour difference. So sometimes I'm working till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, so that I can accommodate my clients in America on the West Coast. And I still need to be sharp, you know? So I've been liking it. So I will write it down, Lillian. Anyone else have anything you want to let me know? Like, what are you doing this summer? Is anyone like vacationing? Are you taking a vacation this summer? Or are you doing self-development work this summer? What are you up to? Hey, Monica. Monica's also in the Missouri area. Are you traveling this summer, Monica, or are you staying put? So after Peru, I get back in the middle of July. I'm going to be doing a little more hustling because the radio is a beast you have to continually feed. And with these 2 shows, there's a weekday show. So for those of you that do enjoy hearing my voice, you will have access to me on a daily basis. So that's from 12 to 2, streaming on America Out Loud, which you can listen to online or download the app and listen on the go. So it's a streaming radio service, so there are actual defined times when my new shows come out. So that's 12 to 2 daily. And the weekend edition is a slightly saucier, edgier, deeper, more provocative discussion on how to get more out of life for conscious relationships and soulful success. So it just means that some of the issues that we might want to talk about on the weekend version, we can go a little deeper. Helen says, summer's not a big deal for you. No kids means you keep on working, sometimes on hills. And Samantha says, summer will be packed for me. Holidays in Italy, then having a baby. The baby's coming in late August. Lovely. Well, Italia will be very beautiful, and depending on where you're going, a little hot right now, but absolutely beautiful. I enjoy spending time in Italy. I have some very fond memories of summer in Italy, in Toscana and in Parma. Yeah, memories. Anyone else? What else are you up to? Anybody doing anything like really meaningful, or is this just a time of rest? Yes, it will be very hot in Italy, Samantha. That's all I got, guys. Like, I literally just wanted to check in with you today because we here in the household are in the midst of packing and, getting ready, washing clothes and taking out the suitcases. And for me, it's kind of exciting. It just feels like movement. It's been a very intense year for me, in the best way possible, but it's been very intense. So, a bucket list. All right. Oh, you're coming to Monaco. Helen. Yay, we'll get to see each other then. Fabulous. So you give me dates, we'll talk. So Vaughn, you've got a bucket list. So you have a bucket list for each year. That's kind of clever. What's on your bucket list? Is it all travel related, or are there other things that are on your bucket list? Does anybody else have a bucket list? For my non-Americans, it's a bucket list is typically a list that we have of all the things we want to do or experience before we kick the bucket, meaning die. So is there anything you want to do before you die? So Vaughn, you have it year by year, a cruise. Sinitra, your summer is full as well. Is it full with travel or what? Full with work? What are you doing? So Monica, I'm going to Peru. You asked where I'm going. I'm going to Peru, going to do Machu Picchu and some exploration, going to sit down with a shaman. So excited about that. And then in August, I will head up to Iceland to hang out with the beautiful Solveig, who is a new friend and client, someone we're about to put on blast, getting her ready for a big book launch and an app launch and speaking career. And yeah, and then at the end of August, I'm going to be coming to America, also in the shamanic realm. There is a lovely woman that I've just recently connected with, named Mary, who is inviting and hosting and facilitating some shamans from the Kogi tribe in Colombia. They are coming to Mount Shasta to do some ceremonies and rituals connecting with Mother Earth. And when I spoke to her last week, I was just like, that is so cool. And it's really momentous because for the last few years, these indigenous people from Colombia, which is really, they're in the Sierra Nevada. This is a tribe that is one of a few on the planet that's kind of maintained their lifestyle. Obviously, there are others on other continents, but they have been coming down from the hills, as it were, over the last few years, interacting with Westerners and saying, hey, you guys are about to break the planet. Like, we're tapped into Mother Earth. Mother Earth is not happy. You're killing her. So, like, literally, like parts of some of these various advanced people, they're not all considered shamans, I guess, but shamans, they spend all of their time in meditation with Mother Earth. And this part of Colombia that they come from, they talk about it being the heart of the earth, like the core of Mother Earth. And they've been able to predict all kinds of things, including global warming, as weird as you might think that sounds. And they just have been saying, you know what? Y'all about to break the planet. Of course, they don't talk with an accent like that. Everything has to be translated. So they speak in their own language. I don't remember what the language is called. And then it generally gets translated into Spanish. So anyway, so in September, I'm going there. And I'm going to bring some camera person with me. Allison, if you're still there, maybe it's you. But in any case, we're going to do some sort of documentary. And I hope that you will participate in a crowdfunding thing that we're doing to raise money and really help these indigenous people claim their own land, but also help us in tapping into the energy of Mother Earth and definitely with Mount Shasta. So that's in September. And then, yes, Sinitra, we are welcoming you here to the south of France in October. So that's way beyond summer. Also in September, what am I doing? I'm doing a speaker workshop. No, a writing workshop here in the south of France. I think that's September 23rd. We're inviting people here for the Stories with Soul life writing workshop, teaching people how to tell stories from their soul about their life or about their clients' lives so that you can have a more dramatic impact in all of your writing or in your speaking. Because before you step on a TED stage or on TV or hosting your show, you got to know how to write. So because many of my clients and people that have seen me speak around the world ask, how do you do it? Well, I like to help people publish. So that's part of my function on this planet, is helping people get their stories out to the masses. That's September. And then, yes, Sinitra's coming here. She's got her little dancing dress on. Woo, woo. In October 20th through the 24th, we are hosting some beautiful soul-conscious, heart-centered, light worker beings, people who want to again, connect with Mother Earth, a different part of the earth, with the Mediterranean Sea and the countryside, soak up some good Mediterranean air and vegan living, and then connect with some like-minded individuals. I'll be leading some workshop sessions to just help you get in touch with that woo-woo factor in your own world. Thank you for the hearts, Karan and Helen. Yeah, it's about really tapping in and exploring what could be possible if you were in community with a tribe who is here to lift you up and support you. And you'll hear me talk over and over about vision. So Sinitra, yes, it will be life-changing. And Allison, yes, you're so in. Yes, you're still here. So for everyone who was here at the very beginning, I told you that I just connected with my bestie from childhood, and it's Allison. Yay, that would be so cool, right? So it's the beginning of September, Allison, that we head over to Mount Shasta and meet these beautiful shamans from Colombia and Mary, and who knows what magic is going to happen. Something has definitely shifted in my energy, and the universe keeps sending people on my path who are into shamanism. And I think that typically kind of brings up this scaredy cat bias in people's minds. I think people think of shamans maybe as either weird or voodoo or black magic or, I don't know, primitive. But yeah, to me, it fascinates me. And knowing that these shamans can regularly see into other worlds, I'm just super, super into that. And in fact, I guess next week I'll be sitting down with a shaman. I think on Monday, I'm leading a meditation for our group in Peru at like 9 in the morning. And then at 10, we have a shaman. We're sitting with some shaman. And I'm like, this is going to be cool. So if the beginning of 2017 wasn't already momentous enough for me, and I've shared this before, that when I had that Pandora flickering light thing back in February of this year, my entire life course changed. So Sinitra, when you say October will be life-changing, I can say yes. Because I know that I've seen in many of the people in my tribe, and definitely in you, that there is this energy coming up. There is this energy, this nudging, this pulling, this tingling. We call it the call. You know, it's that call onto the hero's journey. And I know, Sinitra, you've been feeling that. You know, so many people have told me the same thing, that they're feeling like, okay, this phase of my life is now coming to an end, and I feel something going on inside of me that's nudging me, pulling me, tingling me, whatevering me to change the course of my life, to change the way I'm seen and seeing the world, and the way that I am living and even working. You know, so transitioning into new careers, many people have told me that they're like done with the whole capitalistic money grubbing kind of thing, and they're like, it's not about ego, fame, or money for the sake of, you know, that poverty consciousness. We're ready to move into soul consciousness, such that the work that I do, even if it's the quote-unquote same work, you know, whether you're a baker or a teacher or even a homemaker or an artist, something different happens when you're tapping into that source energy, the source of your heart, the source of Mother Earth, the source of God or Spirit. So this is going to be some juicy stuff, because if I'm making a big change, and most people are like, well, dang, you just up and moved to the south of France, you know, it'll be 7 years ago, with a kid, by myself, no job, didn't know anybody, and now I'm having yet another life transformative thing. And it happens when we surrender, when we open up and say, what else you got for me? You know, there's this line in A Course in Miracles, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? When we surrender and open up and ask that question of the divine, you never know what miracles might happen and how your life might change. So Helen, no, I have not met Kevin Stein from Source TV, another shaman. Sounds like it's going to be interesting. My world is getting all full of shamans. Hey! But it's funny because this is what I said I wanted to do when I stepped on that TEDx stage. So I was talking to someone recently who said, yeah, Andrea, do you really think we all need to do a TEDx? And he had, the reason I made that face is because he kind of had this attitude because he has not yet done a TEDx. And no, not everybody under the planet needs to be on that TED stage. I think if it works out for your business to give you the visibility and the credibility, great. If there's also a message that you want to get out there to millions of people around the world, where you're not just limited by the stages you step on in your home country, then having a TEDx out there, if it's truly an idea worth spreading, is hugely impactful. Now for me, at the time that I had this epiphany that I said I wanted to come out as the real me and stand on the world's stage and say, if I'm going to enter back into the media, because I had unplugged from my high-powered media career in the US when I moved here, and I went silent. I did a few shows, I flew back to the US, I did Dr. Oz, I did a few things. But by and large, I was just here nurturing myself. Then I got hired by Lux TV, so I was doing luxury lifestyle reports, you know, very easy, low-key. But there was something in me that started that same bubbling and that tingling that I'm talking about maybe happening in you. What I noticed for me was I was questioning it. Because I thought, okay, I'm feeling this urge to like start a business and get out there. And I thought, is this just my programming after being in that American system, that go-go drive? Am I feeling a withdrawal from being always on TV and being out there? And I went into meditation and I sat with it and I asked, okay, where is this coming from? Is this ego or is this soul? And it kept bubbling and tingling from my soul. And the stuff that I shared in that TEDx in Monte Carlo was about shamanism. I think I mentioned the word shaman in that. It was me stepping on that stage saying that in my own journey from the land of depression to the land of recovery and happiness, I did go exploring. Now, of course, now I tell people, go within, because the answers are not out there, the answers to your troubles and who you are. But there were some gifts along that journey. Seeing a curandera in Mexico. I did go to a shamanic retreat with Wilbert Alex in Sedona, Arizona. Seeing all sorts of other types of healers, starting this Qigong practice, you know, from the master Pang Ming in China, doing remote healings, learning how to do, you know, energy healing, all that sort of stuff was part of my experience. And then meeting people on that journey, I thought, wow, it's not that we're looking outside of ourselves. There are techniques, practices, rituals, modalities, from chanting, dancing, whirling, singing, anything that puts you in the flow state. And yes, maybe it's plant medicine or rituals with shamans, drumming. Gosh, there's so many things that impact us. And I thought, this I've got to share with the world. So I needed to come out on that TEDx stage as the real me, to sort of say to the world, this is where I'm going next. And because that tingling I felt was coming from my soul, I felt bold enough to do that. And then that really set the stage for everything, I think, that's unfolding now. So Sinitra says, you have that tingling. And Karan says, I tell my friends, my good friend went to France and didn't come back. And no, I ain't coming back. Ain't doing it. Monica says, you're seeing that too. The era of materialism is ending. And that's so true. I mean, the millennials, like, what is this next generation? Like my daughter and her friends who were very much into, they're already tree huggers and you know, conservationists and little activists. Like, they are really tapped into saving the planet and living with purpose and doing things not just based on money. So Monica says, you've been meditating and it came up for me that I am a sage, but I'm not clear on what that means. Any insights on sages? Helen Rebello, I want to hear what you have to say on that. Hey Roz, haven't seen or heard from you in a bazillion years. Much love to you, Roz. So, okay, so Monica, what is a sage? Well, I'm gonna give it to you in my flavor, my version. Sage is typically a wise woman. And they generally, we think of them as elders, but it doesn't mean that they have to be old and, ready to pass on. But they've reached a certain point in their life where they embody wisdom. And funny that your last name up here is Wisdom, Monica Wisdom. So if you are one of the wisdom keepers, meaning your soul came here to bring the wisdom, not just of our time, but maybe from times past, that's what a sage does. And typically, historically, one would consult a sage before they made a move in life or in war or in acquiring land or property or what have you, or in finding out, how to heal or what to do next. So a wisdom keeper and a wisdom sharer is typically what I think of with the sage. I saw a little heart from Helen. Helen, if you have anything else to add to that, I'd love to hear. I think that that's probably very fitting given your life and your history, Monica. So I say embrace it. That's what I say. I feel like the messages that come to us in meditation, and yeah, sometimes they can be weird, like the one I had in February, I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. But when you learn to be silent and open, as we do in meditation and going within, that's when I tend to find that a lot of stuff comes. These downloads come. And sometimes they come just when I'm in meditation and they're quiet. It's a vision, it's a feeling, it's a phrase or a word, or I can see a scene. But sometimes, I remember, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about a lovely summer vacay that I took in Corsica a few years ago. And I was there on this very romantic little getaway. And I'm sitting with my date at dinner, and I all of a sudden had this energetic presence. And I felt, I don't even know how to describe it because it was the first time it had happened so strong and so strangely. But I literally felt like I was getting a download. And I get downloads in meditation, but I don't feel anything because I'm in meditation. I'm just in that open space. So to be sitting somewhere and it, out of the blue, I literally felt like someone had just plugged in, like stuck a USB here and was like, making a transfer. And I just remember at one point, I was like, I need to not talk for just a minute. I didn't want to go anywhere. I'm like on this island, there's, waiters and stuff. And he was just kind of like, okay. So I just sat there. It wasn't coming in words. It wasn't coming in visions. I could just sense that something had plugged in and I was getting a download. And I was just like, okay, I think I just have to sit here, breathe, try not to feel or look as awkward as I'm like feeling. Okay, let this go. And then after a few minutes, I kind of felt like it was done. And I let it go. Didn't know exactly what it was. I kind of figured it was like a file sitting on the desktop. And when I had some time, I was going to go double click on it and find out what was in there. But I didn't want to do that right there at dinner. I was just like, okay, so let's, I think I'll have the salad with the beetroot. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, so that's what has been experienced in my world of opening up and saying yes. Say yes to that sage thing, but just know it's going to cause some shifts. Sinitra, you know this too. You were at a point in life where you were like ready. And this is what happens. Sometimes we do hit a wall, Something in life is just unworkable. We are not willing to do things that way anymore. And that creates the opening for us. That opening where if you say yes, it's like the divine, the angels, the universe says, oh, there's a space. We finally have our moment. And things start popping off because we've given the space and the time and the opening of our eyes and our heart and our mind. And so Helen says, perfectly expressed, couldn't put it better yourself. Sages are the light keepers and wise owls, usually old souls, here to create bridges of understanding for us all, to help us all progress. Nice, nice. I've been reading a lot of those lately. You know, I was actually pondering this recently. I thought, I was kind of curious, which I always am. I ask why a lot. Like, why is this happening? Because I'm like, you know, cause and effect. Am I doing something? Why is all this stuff happening? And I kind of realized, oh wow, are you just getting to that stage of life? No, I'm not saying I'm old or anything. But I'm like, am I getting old? Am I turning into one of those old sage-like people? Anyway, no. It's just funny because being in this place where we get downloads and wisdom, insight, direction, guidance, when you open up to it and you just say, okay, I'm willing, I feel like miracles can happen and we can grow. We can literally have this exponential growth on our path. It's when we have those quantum leaps. It's not this linear type of growth and evolution. We literally have a quantum leap in our expression of life. And many people have described even getting a soul upgrade. Like, you know how you sometimes need to turn off your smartphone so we can reconnect to the network when it turns back on, and you get certain updates that you just didn't know were already sitting there. That's kind of what happens to us as well. I feel like you get soul updates or upgrades at certain points in your life. Yeah. Helen, you've asked yourself the same? Learning to transcend the ego and lose the fear. Yes. Yes. Because if you got past the fear, it's like, what's there? Beyond fear, for me, is possibility. That's what's there. And possibility, when we know that we are guided, protected, nurtured, nourished, saved, safe by the universe, by the other forces in our lives, angels and saints and spirits, sprites. When you know that you've got that protection, and you know that there is this divine calling for your life and for your soul and for your path, yeah, you can lose the fear. And even though it's not super clear, you're still willing to go there. And I think that's when these miraculous shifts and these quantum leaps occur. I was just talking with Todd Malloy. Helen, you know Todd. You've seen him in the Personal Branding Showcase. Todd and I were just talking about this concept of, usually we want to see that next step that's right in front of, before we take a step, we want to see that where the step is. And when you learn to have faith and exercise that faith, you can be willing to take a step even though you can't see anything solid that you're stepping onto. And lo and behold, it appears and your foot touches down and you are safe. So, yeah, so Todd is amazing. So Sinitra, you haven't met Todd yet, but you will, because he's coming here in October. He is quite an impressive therapist with a history in martial arts and all of that sort of Chinese esoteric Taoist therapy and philosophy. So yeah, we are all just at these beautiful transition points, turning points. Oh, you know what? Since we're running out of time, I have a question for you guys. Just because I can. So the next group book that I'm putting out, we are inviting people to submit a story based on you feeling that your life has led you to a point where you are ready to share your life and your light as a coach or a mentor or a healer, or maybe even a sage. And originally, I thought the book was going to be called Roots of Purpose, like the name of the retreat, but I'm sensing a shift. And I recently got a beautiful piece of artwork from our designers, and the designer, her name is Andrea, who is in, where is she in? Bosnia, Herzegovina. So she sent me this mock-up. She sent me a few of them, but there was one that I just said, oh, I love it. And it is this picture, almost like a mosaic, of all these little dots of a female human butterfly. And I was like, oh, that's the cover. But the title no longer works. Like Roots of Purpose doesn't go. So what do you think about time to fly, or time to rise, or I need to show it. I will post the picture, and if you care to comment, let me know. But what the book is really about, what I see it is for those of us who have maybe followed a very cookie cutter kind of path, where we got the job or the degree or the whatever, trying to do what society has taught us is the way, and it just didn't fit us. And we get to this point where we realize, no, I want to share what I know, what I've learned along the way, and what my soul is telling me, and now I want to share it as a coach or a healer, a mentor, or a sage, or a light-working, speaker on the global stage. So we are looking for 20 authors to share their stories, because I think the more that we share your stories with the world, the more that people will help, the more you'll help people feel safe and not like they're alone or crazy, that they too can look back over their life for all these signs. Like I thought about them as roots of purpose, then I thought maybe they were seeds of purpose, that maybe you didn't water those seeds because you were following the societal trajectory. But all of those seeds, the seeds of your soul, are still there. And you get to a point where you're like, you know what? Now is my time to rise. It's my time to fly. It's my time to collect all those pieces of me and those hints and those lessons, those learnings, those teachings, those experiences that showed me that there was a path, a direction, a journey that I was meant to take. And now nobody gonna stop me from doing it. I'm going to live my purpose and fly and shine and be seen and heard around the world. So anybody interested in seeing that image and then maybe commenting, I would love it. We need to get that titled, because when I get back from Peru, hello Gaia, when I get back from Peru, we will need to start inviting people to take part in this collaborative book. And I love doing these kinds of books because there's so many great stories, and yeah, I think it's just this confirmation that when we realize we are not alone. Yes, we are now stepping outside the box, and for some people it feels scary to go against your parents or go against the societal norm. But when we realize that we're not alone, and there are other people that are out there who've done it and succeeded, and we can actually exist in community to support and reflect back and hold up and shine a light, then not only do we heal and grow personally, but we inspire and empower other people to do the same. And of course, Helen, yes, baby, we want your stories. I know you got several. So part of what the book project includes is a storytelling. That's why the storytelling writing workshop, Stories with Soul, is in September, because whether you fly into France to do that, or you just get the digital version, we want people to learn how to tell really good stories and how to pick them, because I'm sure you got a lot of stories. I know Helen does. Like, you've shared some already that I'm like, note to self, that would be a perfect one. That would be one that can resonate with other people. So there's the storytelling workshop and help on how to tell good stories and how to choose from your life which ones are going to really have that impact. And then that's in September, so that the book is delivered to you in December. So we have a kind of Christmas, New Year's launch, typically when most of us are, you know, in New Year's resolution mode, new year, new you. Then you can like have a book to inspire other people and give it as a gift and that sort of thing. So that is the vision for the project. And Monica, I love that you put rise and fly. I was saying that one to my daughter yesterday. I was like, you know, we have this thing, rise and shine. But when you see the image, you'll see why rise and fly is a good one, because it almost looks like this girl, because it's really very abstract. It almost looks like she's looking down. She's just collecting her energy, her, you know, particles of self. And once you rise, then you can take flight. I'm a very visual, kinesthetic kind of person, so that's what's in it for me. But I digress. And Marliese, yes, darling, if that sounds interesting, I will be sharing some information about that. It's exciting because I've been able to help some of these authors that I've worked with over the last few years who've done these books, like get their message out all over the world. I think the first one I did was Heart to Heart, The Path to Wellness, which I've shared with you all before. And then we did Turning Points, which I published in January of this year with 14 authors from Denmark. And I participated in another one called Resilience Through Yoga and Meditation. And I shared my own story about how compassion meditation saved me from caregiver burnout when my mother was here. And that one was very touching and very meaningful, but it was wonderful because all of the people sharing in that book were either yogis or meditation teachers from around the world. So I made these amazing new connections with some beautiful, beautiful souls. And some of those interviews are still online. You can see them. So it's a great way to like share your story so that people get to know who you are and why you've decided to shift into being a healer or a non-traditional practitioner, therapist, coach, mentor, sage, maybe even a shaman or two, I don't know. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, it has been lovely to have a little bit of this shaga mushroom tea with you. It's a very strange brew, I have to admit, but I'm digging it. I'm digging it so far. So my friends, if you have any questions, I'll stick around for a bit here. And if not, I will post that beautiful image. At least I think it's beautiful. I think my design team has done like amazing stuff. Every time I ask for a new design, they send me stuff and it's like, ooh, I like that one, I like that one. But this time when I saw this one, I was like, that is it. That's the one. And they designed my cover for the Orgasm Prescription for Women, the Liberate and Love Your Authentic Self, Turning Points. What else have they designed? They designed my artwork for the Erotic Love Summit, which I hosted last year. So they're highly talented, and who knows, they might be doing some book covers for some of my new authors, and I will show you this one. So my darling friends, I wish you a happy rest of your Monday, a happy rest of the week. I will be back on Wednesday for my usual cup of verbal tea, my Wednesday rant. Friday I will not be here, just like I was not here last Friday. But we have new shows coming out, new sorts of videos. The video with James from the radio show that came out over the weekend, I have the video version of that. So I will be posting that. So don't worry, you're going to have plenty of content to keep you going. And if you have any questions, you can always email me or send me a message. Lovely to catch you live, says Helen, and see you shining. Yes. And the magic mushroom drink. Yes. It's cool stuff, you know. I'm always into finding what we can do to maximize. So I will post that. Who is so handsome, says Monica. Monica, who is handsome? Uh-oh. Monica said somebody's handsome, y'all. See? All sorts of stuff. Are you talking about Tim Ferriss? The guy who shared the Shaga stuff? I think he's handsome too. Anyway, I will post the links. I've got another interview coming up. Oh, the man I interviewed. James R. Nowlin. Yes, he is a cutie pie. So this, yeah, you saw his first interview, maybe, and now I've done a second interview. So the first interview I did with him back in April was for the launch of his book, The Purposeful Millionaire. And we touched a little bit on his life, but his life has been, you can't make this stuff up. He almost died twice. So when you hear a little bit more about how he overcame a really troubled childhood with witnessing domestic violence and being, unfortunately, the victim of violence, big stuff. And he almost died 5 years ago in a boating accident, like a freak boating accident. But I will let you watch the video or catch the podcast version if you're listening on the go. All right, my loves. I send you much love and joy from the south of France. Hope that your summer planning is going well, and I will see you on Wednesday.